Hello indie game fan, roguelites are back. August had some of the best games of the year, where I want to start with the not-so-indie Rollerdrome, which is excellent due to the locomotion, action and art style. The best indies of the month begins with HAAK, a pixel art Metroidvania that is just well put together. While it doesn't reinvent the wheel, the variety of power-ups, biomes and bosses is a joy to experience, where a hero has quite an interesting hook ability that you need to master, both for combat and exploration. There are quite a number of platforming challenges and puzzles in this game which is neat, all wrapped up with some sick animations. A very pleasant story that got my attention last month is that PlateUp grossed $1 million in revenue within 12 days of launch, which is especially interesting since it does look kind of basic, but roguelite overcooked did mash together two very popular things and found the perfect combination. You're running your own restaurant and have to both cook food and serve customers, working with your friends in order to do so, while deciding between a bunch of different upgrades in between the levels. While it looks simple, the chaos of a local multiplayer game mixed with roguelite progression is compelling, where the story of success just warms my heart. It looks like some of you were wrong. After being warned by some commenters that Thymesia didn't feel great to play, apparently the larger gaming population does not agree, where this grimdark Souls-like RPG has been quite a success. You play as a humanoid being, codenamed Corvus, with the ability to wield and manipulate the plague itself which has befallen the kingdom, and more interestingly, are able to shift into a raven form as well. While Souls-inspired, combat in this is at a faster pace which takes some getting used to, but where the exploration and world building are pretty impressive. Do note that it is a shorter game, so don't expect Elden Ring levels of content, but it is a pretty sweet title for sure. Speaking of roguelites, Curse to Golf is a wonderful pixel art entry where missing too many shots will cause you to fail a run. Somehow, indie developers have found ways and means to make one of the most boring quote-unquote sports in the world interesting, with this game being the latest to do so. Believe it or not, there are boss fights and power-ups in this game where you need to use every tool at your disposal to come under par. It is, however, still a golf game at its core, but even if you don't have any particular affinity for it, I think that you will still find something to love here. Warriors of the Nile was an excellent roguelite tactics title from 2020, where the developers are back with a bigger and better sequel. You are once again in control of a party of 3 heroes of your choosing, having to use them in a complementary manner to dispatch of your enemies, where there is a lot more variety in playable characters in this game. Another returning aspect from the original is that there is meta progression in the form of upgrading your capital city, something that I always love in games, where I think that it gets up there with the best tactics titles like Into the Breach. Somehow, developer Crete Entertainment managed to pull off Farthest Frontier after working on the action RPG Grim Dawn for the better part of 10 years, where this is about as hard a left turn as I have seen from a developer in switching genres, which makes this feat even more amazing. It is a survival city builder where you're guiding your little medieval town, gathering resources and constructing buildings, or trying to keep your people happy and fighting off bandits. Its closest comparison would be Banished, a game from 2014 which people absolutely adore, only tidied up and becoming much prettier. I'm interested to see wherever early access takes this game. I had a hunch that Backpack Hero would do very well, and the developers did not disappoint, being a turn-based roguelike RPG with inventory Tetris as a central mechanic. This game has managed to turn one of the most tedious aspects of video games into a cool new thing of its own, where the location in which you place the various items does have an effect on their power and how they can help you in a run. While it is pixel art, the art isn't much of a highlight, where winning battles, getting new items and optimizing their placement is instead, where the game does throw tricks at you as well, with cursors that lock weapons in place when you use them, for example, being a very unique and clever game. Add one more roguelite to the pile with Orcs, a tower defense city builder that is one part They Are Billions and one part Retropolis, with some very impressive visuals that also extend to this animated trailer. You're building up and expanding your kingdom, centered around your castle, while having to fend off increasingly larger and more powerful waves of greenskins. The art style in this game really grew on me, with plenty of card unlocks from run to run which keeps you playing. It is another early access release, but what is there is substantial enough where I'm just excited about the future of this game. Oh my god, if you love beat-em-ups, be sure to get Midnight Fight Express, a very well-made one of these with the twist that it is in 3D as compared to the more common 2D side-scrolling fare. The one thing that I want to highlight is the feel of this game, where every punch, kick, pipe swing, slam and bullet fired just feels so impactful. A combination of sound design and animation, where things can and do get absolutely brutal as you fight your way through criminals in order to stop them from taking over the city. This has long been on my radar and I'm so happy that it has done well for this developer, so here's hoping that he gets a good break from this, and let's look forward to his next project. I told you that Cult of the Lamb would be a mega hit, and that has come true, where it has already sold over 1 million copies, but the wool was pulled over our eyes on this one since the cult management aspect is a lot more involved and could be seen as the primary mode where in contrast, the action portion was okay, but don't expect Hades, but it's a great game overall, and in the meantime, see what else qualifies as the best games of 2022.